With the crime rates in Memphis, Tennessee amongst these young black men.
On a crime alert in South Memphis, where police are investigating one of the city's latest homicides.
One person is dead, 10 others injured after 2 shootings overnight in Memphis.
Information following Monday's shooting in South Memphis that left 2 people dead.
We are going to need the Honorable Judge Joe Brown to lay these young black men across his lap and give them the ultimate stiff justice, if you know what I mean.
You're running to make a little history yourself. You're running for mayor of Memphis, and we know that the city's been in the headlines for the murder of Tyree Nichols, among other things.
And what's going on is Memphis is a dangerous place. Just this last weekend, we had 14 shootings or stabbings, and yesterday we had 4 more.
Judge Brown says there are certain things that men can do that make them better fit to lead the city of Memphis. Tonight, he's not backing down as the community sounds off.
I don't want to get crude about it, but some places you need to go to exercise leadership. Some of the good ladies in here would get drugged into an abandoned apartment and raped.
As a city of majority women and majority black people, what makes them feel that in this moment in their leadership, they should run for mayor instead of uplifting a black woman to run?
Judge Todd Stearns here. I'm on record saying you're one of the few men with common sense running in the race.
Recent comments. Joining me now is Judge Joe Brown. Judge, thank you for joining me. That the black community should not have continued to express outrage and call George Zimmerman a killer because under the law he was innocent?
They should express outrage with themselves for lacking such political influence in the selection of the district attorney or in the even weight assigned to them. See, the rules are the same, but from my perspective, I think of all the black folk that have called me over the last 35 of jury service, all of the black folk that voted a handout where you got a racist idiot on that handout for judge and they don't even pay attention to who's on the ballot. I think of all of the black folk who don't go out and vote for sheriff or effectively for mayor or for the district attorney and complain about it. See, when you have an opportunity to do something about it, do it.
Let's make sure you guys vote for the Honorable Judge Joe Brown to become mayor of Memphis, Tennessee in September 2023. Now, to combine it with the child support, how is it you're going to hold a group of men that was raised primarily from females and was raised with a female perspective? Not saying they are GAY, but they was brought up under an effeminate foundation. And so when they operate in that form and they get in front of a judge, they get trialed as a man.
Okay. I got elected to 2 8-year terms. I dropped the statewide recidivism rate for felons from 80% to 18% in my courtroom by addressing that. The secret, he calls them to man up. Sometimes I have had to lecture people for the longest to get them to see it. You saw it right away. That's impressive. That is the key to success.
I'm Jay Prince for president, and I approve this message. I bet you won't pick up a gun this time.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
Make me feel like a president. First black president. Dum, 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 dum.
From the courtroom to the grill, Judge Joe Brown JJB barbecue sauce. Man, the last time me and my girl was barbecuing and we got us a bottle of that JJB barbecue sauce, I lick my fingers and I dare her to lick hers. Judge Joe Brown ought to be ashamed of himself for bringing all this smoke to the barbecue. I'm Jay Prince for president, and I approve this message. You gonna finish that?
Don't be fucking rude. Are you kidding?
What's going on, Black House? How you doing? Hey, keep it quiet. What's going on? We back at it again, another Wednesday with the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. How y'all doing today? Black House members, make sure you guys support the channel by hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, super chats, cash apps. We're gonna have another dope conversation with the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. He'll be here in a couple of minutes. I just got off the phone with him. And look like somebody else probably be live. It's okay. What y'all got going on? We're gonna have a lot of conversation about the neighborhoods, violence in the Black community. We're gonna talk about that, and also how young Black men made a change, a difference in the Black community. Yeah. And his name, what's his name? Okay. Again, y'all. What's up, Barry White? How you doing? We're just starting up the show. I'm finding the other video, so we get right to it. Okay. First off, how y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. It's your boy Jay Prince for president. How y'all got? What y'all got going on? How y'all doing? Okay, I'm about ready. Let me see. Do I got some stuff to clean up? Some housekeeping to clean up. Oh, I want to state this for the late night streams. I want to state this before I actually go in the show. I've been hearing some things, and there's been a lot of people, coming into the platforms, which I don't mind people come to the platforms, but when they come over there, just because I think they take advantage of me not censoring no one, so they began to say anything on my platform, and they don't take in consideration that this is my platform and this is how I was bringing bread and butter for me and my children. And if my show get flagged down, take it down. First off, neither one of them going to admit that they said some stuff. Two, I'll just be out. And the next time somebody used the F-bomb, the FAG word, and words that could get the show flagged because you in your feelings, your emotions, you would not be able to come back here for at least 2 weeks, because I'm not going to allow no one to take my show down, my channel. I worked hard for this channel. The channel was beneficial for me and my children, so I refuse to allow anyone to tear it down. Some people just come to get their fame, and some people have started their own shows. They come get their fame, build up their shows, but they come over here and say whatever and do whatever they want to on mine, and that's not going to happen. Treat mine like you want yours to be treated, because I'm not going to allow no one to tear down my show. So we just got to be careful with the words and language that we use on the shows and stuff like that, because I'd be damned if I let somebody else tear my show down. I can see myself doing it, but somebody else tearing it down, absolutely not. So I'm gonna pass the word down to the governor and PH Diva. If anybody used those type of words and stuff, no warnings. because that a warning. Yeah, it's a warning for you, but that could be my show. That could be my channel. So you just be cautious on the things you say. Check your emotions at times. I understand how stuff could get super excited, and you just say some stuff because you're upset. But think about, because y'all do not go on nobody else's channel and say and do whatever y'all want to do. I allow y'all to, fight it out, but at the same time, we still gotta have some guidelines. So, yeah, and I'm gonna discuss this later on tonight, because no, I can't have nobody else come in and take my channel down. We trying to have a decent conversation, have a productive conversation. And still, you can still have your little battles, but at the same time, you're not gonna say whatever you want to on my shit, because you could care less about it. I won't be surprised. A lot of people want to see my channel down. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't really care for my channel get taken down. All you people want to do just gonna hop on somebody else's channel, or even your own. So I had to put a stop to that myself. And I'm about to just refuse people, that say little boys don't know how to act like they don't know how to conduct themselves on my channel. Because y'all will not do that on yours. Shout out to Robert M. She said this channel will remain standing. Absolutely. All I'm trying to do is make sure people got to understand, like, dude, don't say anything, everything on my channel. I really appreciate you, Robert M. We still rocking with you. The Honorable Judge is on his way. So that's all I was thinking. Like, man, like I went back and watched some stuff. Y'all just be saying anything. Certain words that y'all use, man, y'all gonna get booted. And no warnings. I'm telling y'all, no warnings. Because you should know, because y'all, I have neither one of you on other people's channels using certain words that could get their channel banned. So we not finna just come to the Black House and just mistreat the Black House because you feel like we ghetto. No, you're not just gonna go there and mistreat it. Like Gore said, let everyone know if you use trigger words, you are dropped, no questions. That's a fact. Yes, I have been too nice. You have been too nice. Set expectations and stick with them. Yes. We can't just say anything. Y'all know we can't just say anything on this internet. What's up, Sugar Bomb? How you doing, young lady? Y'all know we can't just say anything on these platforms. So don't come over here and try to abuse the Black House. We spent the Black House has been up and running for almost a year now. Almost a year. So we're gonna try to keep it up. We have been doing way better. We're gonna try to keep it up. We're not gonna just do anything. I can't sit up here and allow people, especially it used to be the people that don't support the channel anyway. That's why they just say whatever they want to on the channel. What's up, Biz in the building? He said, well, what can you say on the internet, JP? Well, you can't say the FAG word and the Jew word and all that other type of stuff. There's a lot of trigger words. Deletion of babies, deletion period. The word deletion was with a KILL. You can't say them type of words. Now, I don't mind people going at it, but no. Oh, even in the chat, Don GQ say, "What about the foul shit people say in the chat?" It's even in the chat. You know, in the chat that certain stuff people say in the chat can get my show taken out. I just found out about that. So we just got to be cautious, man. You can't just. I don't care if you're in your emotions. You got to know how to. Because if I feel like you're doing that intentionally, you will be banned from here. You will never be able to come back. That means you are op, and you will be banned. You will never be allowed to come back. We're gonna treat you like those trolls that be coming up here and trying to flag the show. And y'all know I don't want to do that. I like for people to rock out and do them, but at the same time, I gotta protect this is my business. This is a business at the end of the day. And I gotta protect what's mine, what I have built. You know, because if I lose my channel, y'all just gonna go on other people's channels. So y'all not losing out on nothing. And low key, some of you might be feeling kind of a little happy to see my channel fall. So I'm not finna try to give y'all that pleasure. I'm finna call. Let me test them. Outside of that, man, we've been doing way better, man. I'll let y'all rock out. And with the bounty systems, I'm 50% with it, 50% not with it. You know, we producing y'all a lot of content. And we basically giving y'all, since y'all think we giving y'all free work, y'all can just say do whatever y'all want to. Because y'all don't do that on nobody else's channel. Everybody else asks for donations, support, money financially, and y'all don't mind supporting it. So don't come over here and act like, oh, this man begging, I'm begging, or I'm asking for financial support and stuff like that. Because this is a business, and you cannot say that I personally don't give y'all good entertainment. So I refuse to get treated that way. I'd rather just shut it down and not give y'all the entertainment that night, to be honest. And I ain't making y'all, I ain't never said no price and nothing like that. I'm just saying support the channel. Y'all did good yesterday. Yesterday, you know, y'all was supporting. And then I could always reinvest into the shows. But that'll show me who really supported me than them just saying it. It's been almost a year. I ain't never really forced that on y'all. Let me control the chat. Sugar, but I don't know about you getting control of the chat because you getting your feelings and you getting your feelings and you be just like somewhat abusing it, like you be just timing out people for no reason. Okay, y'all, here we go. We back at it. Let me bring up the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. Hey, how you doing, Judge?
All right, young man, I'm doing fine. Had a little trouble logging in there.
Oh yeah, sometimes it be like that. I be having troubles logging in too on mine.
It wanted to take me to a Joe Tin Man Brown, but I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I want to know where that came from. So I had an interesting topic today, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Now, what do you know about the drill scene? They call it drill scene in Chicago, Illinois, close by my city, in Chicago, Illinois, where they rap about deleting each other and shooting each other and actually carrying out the raps. And now,
Damn stupid. Negro stuff. Plantation stuff.
what could
The entertainment of the plantation masters. It's not manly.
what do you think we could do to put like a stop to this?
About it. They have to understand it's a punk play. Stuff slaves do. It's not what free men do. See, free men are about making where they live a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics. A place of public peace, dignity, and order where the men can be brave and courageous when necessary, not act like damn fools trying to kill each other for no purpose, and some dipshits trying to make money off of coming up with rhymes to deal with foolishness. See, they need to man the hell up, start dealing with what men always have dealt with, and that's where you live is supposed to be a peaceful place. Even the real gangsters don't do that to their neighborhoods, just indiscriminately go and kill up. That's part of this death wish thing, like, hey, you don't really want to be around here, so you want to encourage suicide by neighbor. Already suicide by cop, but that's what that is. That's just stuck on stupid. And it's sissy.
And
you want to have a problem with a guy, stand out, punch it out with him. Don't sit there and try to pop a cap. That's so girl. That's from somebody's great-great-grandmama pouring battery acid on some other woman who looked at an ex-boyfriend 3 years before it happened, and the guy left her 2 weeks after that. She's still frustrated. That's what that's about.
Do you believe black men act a particular way? Because I've been noticing and watching and listening to myself and other black men. Do you believe that we operate like that out of secure self-esteem and
no, you've been
inadequate?
You've fallen for the conditioning. For the last 55 years, they've been trying to turn the young men in our race that way, and the young men have fallen for it. It's been propagandized, and you can tell when the propaganda is effective because the targets of the propaganda start behaving as the propaganda was trying to get them to behave. So back out of it. It ain't cool. You want to find out what you do, pick up any book about anybody in the past. Doesn't make any difference what race they are. What makes a difference is that they acted like men. See how they acted. They don't act that way. See, that's just a bunch of sissies back in the 60s that hated men, and they took over the entertainment industry, the communications industry, and they've been pushing this nonsense, and we've been buying it up. They've been glorifying dysfunction for a half century. Started off with Black Caesar with Fred the Hammer Williams. It went on to Rod O'Neal with Superfly, and the latest mess is the Black Panther and garbage like that, woman, queen, king, or whatever it is, where we say, oh, wow, that's so great. No, it ain't. They've been filling your head with stuck on stupid. We don't even know it. And then when you hear gangster hip hop rap, there's a market for it all over the world because deceptively it looks like men maintaining control, but it's not even masculine because what they're ideating on is the same kind of thing that their mamas, aunts, grandmamas, great-grandmamas, great-great-great-grandmamas, etc., and their friend girls did. In other words, essentially, it's exploiting the opposite sex, which is something gold-digging women do, but the ideation is managed by pimping, about the lowest scummy thing you can be on the planet is a pimp. I know I represented a bunch of them. And they hoes here in Memphis 40 years ago. Paid a lot of rent with it, but it's low. If you're a man, you make where you are a better place. You fill it with economic prosperity and sense of purpose. And what this is about is not sense of purpose. Everybody sees all of the bear babes bouncing around on stage and the little Japanese guys that do techno jump up and down. The one is Australia, do the techno up and down. Moscow, Berlin, Rome. They sit there and they do it, and what they're actually looking at, these aren't women that these guys have under their sway. This is their mamas, aunts, grandmamas, and what they look like in the middle of the summer sitting out on the back step of the projects trying to get laid and get knocked up to get a bigger check.
Mm-hmm. So you think that mindset from young black men, or just black men in general, it has a certain place. Since when? Because even with the fighting stuff, why did us black men came to the point where we view each other as something, either a threat or something that we have to hurt? But we don't have that same.
Because the people that put it out, either directly or indirectly, are spreading hatred for masculinity. Black men men with capital letters are looked at as the most chauvinistic, manly of men. So they start with us, and if they can get us to start putting on the displays that are not associated with manhood, all of the lesser types who want to act like they're men start modeling themselves on a corrupted image of manhood. So we become ideally moldable into a pattern that some people want the rest of the country to adopt. The rest of the world is going, we don't want that. See, they want you to be into cross-dressing and looking like that fool Wade and that little sissy son of his and his crazed feminist man-hating wife, and they want you to say that, you can't do it. Your mama, your grandmama, your aunt, your girlfriend, whatever, they can do it, so let them do it, get out the way, and you're toxic. See, that's what it is. So you got to say, hell no, that's crap. Besides, we have to show them what time it is. You go out and you defend the women and they can depend upon you to be defended, then they start counting on you because they really don't want to have to do what we put them in a position of doing. When I say we, I don't mean me and some folk like me. I mean too many of us do. You see all these pictures they have on social media of these girl reelers acting damn fools, and they're slugging it out in a fast food face over some secret sauce package they didn't get, or acting a fool and getting out in the streets and rolling all in the gutter and all of that. That's not feminine, and it certainly isn't what the ladies ought to be doing, but that's what they're getting reduced to because we don't show the opposite. And then, I'm sorry, we got a good income, Judge. Why are you talking about me like that? Because how much you put into it? Well, my woman bring in $132,000 a year. How much you bring in? 34. Well, you ain't doing shit. See? Well, yes, I do. I'm smoothed out and comfy. Hell no, you ain't doing shit. Go ramp yourself up, get your game together, and get some income. And don't get the income from ripping off your neighbors. It's out there. Get your nose out of this crap stuck on stupid on the TV. You know every damn thing about every team and every player in the NBA and the NFL and MLB, but you don't know crap about taking care of your business.
Right. So
that's what time it is. It's like you got a brother or a cousin or a nephew. There ain't no white man doing white supremacy sitting on the other side of the kitchen table. He's supposed to be there doing his homework. And you're supposed to sit down occasionally and help him and see if there's something you don't know you can learn.
So let me ask you, as a judge, I don't know if you ever judged criminally, but how
Yeah, I
do
was
you,
a criminal court judge, 2 8-year terms. And before that, criminal defense lawyer. Before that, I ran the public defender's office. And before that, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead.
so when you was, how did you make your determination on a sentencing? Okay, like when you think
There are
about,
guidelines. This stuff isn't just left to a judge's indiscriminate decisions. When you went through and sentenced somebody nowadays, and for the last 35 going on 40 years, there's a long list. You have to answer number 1 and number 2, and when you get to the second or third page and you're at number 27 or 38, there are numbers that, you have to put down based on what's going on, and you add them up, and that determines where in the sentencing range somebody is. So you just don't come off the top of your head 10 years. No, if you do that, you have to make an assessment. Is this a first offender? Is this a multiple offender? How many prior offenses? What does this get as a score? What kind did this involve? Somebody getting hurt? What score goes with that? Has this any deterrent value in the community, et cetera, et cetera? What score goes with that? What kind of expression did you hear during sentencing about remorse? Did this person demonstrate anything that would indicate that he or she is not likely to engage in this conduct in the future? What benefit to the community would be served by leaving them at large or restricting them to something less than full incarceration, community service? That they drop out of the 5th grade and they've been doing crimes in order to give their no good mama her rent for the last 4 years, or they running hoes out there trying to be a lightweight pimp that make their living off of drugs. Well, you got in this case what you knew was going to be bad for you. So what did you do to show somebody that you turned it around? Are you ready to get back right into it? So there are things that you can do just in terms of plain sentencing, and there's some other things you can do if you're the right kind of judge to go above and beyond. I found, for example, that one of the best ways to get to somebody is to impress on him he's getting chumped out doing what he's doing. He's good for the system being a crook, which he is. And if he wants to be a man, then he has some certain things he's going to have to do as a man. So every day in the mirror, hey man, did you do what you supposed to do yesterday, man? Or you just BSing everybody, including yourself? You're going to do it today. If you didn't do it well yesterday, you're going to do it better today so you can do it even better tomorrow. What's your game? Anybody care if you drop your behind dead? Do a postnatal abortion on your ass that your mama might have done before you were born, but she didn't. So now you're going to get your fool self put in an electric chair, gas chamber, or laid out on a slab and get put to sleep like you some kind of dog. What's your game?
so here's the thing, like, because I have heard a lot of people that works in the system, they said they know the differences when it comes to black men and white men.
Bullshit. Complete bullshit. You ought to hear what really goes on that they lie about. See, you can't tell what your client is telling you. Man, they put a case on me, man. I wasn't even there. Well, there's 6 people. Let me run the names down. Dude says he not only knew who it was, he gave him your mama's address. See, he lying. He was trying to talk to this babe, lighting a cigarette under the street lamp. I was behind the dumpster. He couldn't even see me. Wait a minute, I thought you weren't even there. Well, I wasn't there because he couldn't see me. Well, he did see you. You weren't invisible, man. Yeah, but he lied. See, the people out in the streets think he wasn't there. He got framed. Or, yeah, I was strong. They lied. I didn't say nothing about this. And then you look at your judge now, or maybe you're still a defense lawyer and you represent this guy, and you look at the tape of his confession, and he ain't been OG. He's sitting up there, snot running all out his nose. My mama, you just let me talk to my mama. I'll tell you everything. Sir, this is a very serious matter. You need an attorney. I don't want a lawyer. I just want my mama. It wasn't me. It was Stomp Little Dog and Earl and JJ. They was the ones that did it. They made me do it. And this dude is out in your courtroom trying to play OG with his posse behind the barrier. You know, punked out. And see, it ain't nothing but a punk game when you start trying to do your own people. You see, we aren't talking about folk going out playing Robin Hood. They're robbing their own hood. And the other thing is, like Memphis, we had this thing with Tyree Nichols, all these police supposedly doing crap. And you had Chief Hole #1, Kamala Imhoff up in there, and Chicken Eating Sharpton in there, and then Ben Crump in there, and they making all this hell out of it. Well, let's deal with the facts. Was it white supremacy? No, that female idiot that got fired from Atlanta and was about to get fired from Raleigh-Durham before they brought to Memphis. The chief of police is a black woman, all right? 70+% of the Memphis Police Department is black. 82% of the command hierarchy is black. 56% of the black of the cops in Memphis grew up in Memphis. 60% of the criminal court judges are black and female, and 70+% of the jury pool is black. What time is that on white supremacy?
So if it's all black, how is the sentence rate? Do you think there's a lot of black men getting arrested still?
Look, I get out in the streets. I walk around and I talk.
I'll see you be in the streets.
Hey man, look, what are you doing? Oh man, look, young brother, don't do that. You're going to jail. Yeah, man, well, they're gonna have to take me to jail because I feel like it. Well, don't unfeel like it. That ain't cool. Well, why not? Because this ain't cool for anybody. It's ill-mannered, it's uncouth, and it's stupid. Now, why you got to do that? Because So, you know, you complaining about somebody pulling you over. You got one tail light out. Your registration is 3 months out of date. Your license is expired. You and two of your homeboys smoking a joint up in the car when they pull you over, and you dumb enough to think that in this state it's legal, which is not. So in your ignorance, you perpetrating the crime right in front of the folk that are busting you. And then, even if the cop's black, even if he went to your same high school, you sitting up there fronting off with him, and he's fronting off with you like you're going to whip each other's behind, which is likely to lead to a fight. And the dude you sitting there getting ready to provoke got a gun on his hip. That ain't even, you know, chill out.
Mm-hmm. What?
So, you know, and you sitting there, you're not going to understand what you're doing. It's like, man, you know, like, did you have to do that? You know, man, they is race. No, man. There ain't anybody up in here but black folk. And you got all these women up in here upset with you because you acting a fool. You got all these guys too embarrassed to say anything to you or too shy, but I'm not. Look here, man. Dude tried to get him some. And you sitting up there hollering across the whole damn parking lot of the restaurant. Hey, man, JJ, man, you knocked that out last night, man. What the hell is wrong with you? You ain't getting laid either, fool, because you ain't dealing with them. That's why you like these ugly women, because that's all you can deal with. And they trying to get knocked up to get a bigger check and more babies. What's wrong with you? There's some style, man. Man, ain't got no time for no style, man. Real man ain't gonna sit there and jump through all that, man, to get fool. That's been going on since Alley-Oop was living in a cave, fool. You gotta deal with this. They do that. Oh, I forgot. You ain't had a daddy around. Uncle either.
So you say the women they usually test them in or put men through tests?
Well, yeah, all the time. White, black, brown, red, yellow, they all do it. So if you think that they don't do it to you just because you black and you think you got a Long Johnson, you are a fool. they'll do it. But you see, what we get is several years ago, they used to have this thing about, do you have a thug at home? I'd go travel all over the country speaking, go to a radio station. This is Bobby on WFOOL. This is Take Care of Your Thug Week. We got Tamika on the line. Tamika, you got you a thug? Yeah, Bobby, he's so fine. He make me feel good. All right. We got, oh, who is this? Who is this? This Earlene. Hey, baby, you got you a thug? Yeah, Bobby, I loves me some thug. You let him work? No, Bobby, I want him at home rested to smooth me out. Who is this? This Lucille? Oh, you white, ain't you, Lucille? Yeah, Bobby, but I likes me some thug too. They so exciting. Timothy, what you got? I got me a fine one on my friend girls. He look just like Denzel. You let him work? Oh, hell no. I want him fresh. And you see, all you're doing is being a boy toy gigolo. You just sitting there like you a bitch getting pimped.
Why you think women, because they classify me as a thug, Pookie, and stuff like that. Why you think women is interested more in the thugs than they is?
It's exciting and they're foolish. And see what happens. Typically, they had a song back in the 1930s. If you want to get along with the beautiful girls, you got to be a football hero. In other words, they like the masculine thing. They're 15, 16 years old. They get turned on by it. Later on in life, they don't give a damn that you can wear shoulder pads and a helmet and play football unless you playing for the NFL. They want to know what you can do to provide. You know, do I have a better life with him or with him?
Well, I somewhat disagree. I think because if you take a man that's doing everything productive, went to college, because we have a lot of men that comes on these platforms they have succeeded in college and all this other type of stuff and financially successful. But then you got men like me and, you know, of that caliber that comes from the neighborhoods and stuff like that. They mad at the women for messing with me. And I don't know, it's like, although they can get women because they financially stable, but it's something about the personality and the character coming from the thugs opposed to the good guys.
Yeah, it's masculine. It's the aura of masculinity. But you see, too many of the so-called good guys really aren't, because they won't stand up for anything. They run. They're punks.
They run from society too.
I just down at a hotel and imagine this is a glass of Chablis. Oh, Jamal, what do you think about what's happening? I don't know, Sean. I hear that they had some kind of incident last night. RD, what do you think? Oh, God, I just don't know. Oh, we're in the Peabody, aren't we? When are they bringing the ducks down the elevator so they can walk to the pond? Like, what the hell is this? That ass ain't a leader. You just perpetrating. You should be somebody's clerk, not in front of everything. And
white. And that's the thing with black men.
And they're not even acting white. See, I know some badass white boys. I mean, some really serious prototypes of what they try to put in the movies. And, you know, it's what they are. Like my late brother, Black Belt Magazine for 15 years said he was, quote, probably the most dangerous human alive in North America. And he was real live badass. He was kind of like a contract James Bond. In fact, he used to work with British MI6. That's Bond's folk, Mossad and Saudi counterintelligence. He worked with me on my show as a co-executive producer. And hell, every 2 or 3 weeks, the CIA was down there consulting with him on something like unarmed killing. So he real live badass. Grew up in Compton, California, but he was a smart man. He got 2 4-year degrees, one from UCLA and one from Cal State LA at the same time. summa cum laude for one and magna cum laude for the other. But see, he can handle himself anywhere he went. In fact, there was this one incident at LA International. He had a condo in Prague, Czech Republic, and his housekeeper was saying she needed some fabric softener. So he got 2 big duffel bags for his Czech luggage filled with Bounce fabric softener in the box. So he stuffed a bunch in his carry-on luggage. And this TSA type said, "Why do you have all the fabric softener?" So ain't a black man have fabric softener? Is it illegal to carry? And I don't like your attitude. Wait over there. I'm calling the police. He called LAPD. They showed up. Make a long story short, this white cop said, "Look, if this is the guy you got the problem with, let me just cut to the chase. Just imagine he's got a cape on in your mind's eye and an S on his chest. Because if that's who you got a problem with, there are not enough police in this airport to make him do anything he doesn't want to do, even if we shoot him. So my unsolicited advice, make him smile." So his partner wanted to go do something. He grabbed him by the arm. He said, "Look, man, I want to see my wife tonight, and you trying to get laid. Let's get the hell out of there." Turned around and said, "Remember, make him smile." See? So, like, he grew up in Compton, and this dude, 280, 290 pounds full of solid muscle when he was 19 years old, benching 410 pounds and doing reps. Superman, fastest reflexes I ever saw in my life. So some of us have it up here and, there too. So let's try to put them all together. If you got the manly thing, start teaching it. And the teaching thing is men have always been about this. Wherever we are, you have to protect where you live. You don't tear it down. You got to deal with protecting the women, but you got to understand that every now and then there's a wise woman who might give you advisement, even if you're giving her guidance. Don't act a fool. Listen. She's supposed to be wise enough to talk to you. You're supposed to be wise enough to know how to listen, when to do it, and when not to, and how to say no. That how you say no, and no just means no, goes both ways. Now, if you're trying to get laid, that's a whole different proposition. But I tell you one thing, beautiful women are easier to deal with than the ugly ones. So everybody's scared of them. So don't try to run game on them. Just talk to them, and you might get somewhere. And everybody strikes out. Nobody, I don't care if you major league home run champion. You strike out sometimes, you hit home runs sometimes. Most of the time you don't hit home runs.
I want to touch back on when you say the good guys. What we call good guys is the punks.
No, the good guys aren't necessarily punks. My brother I was talking about was no punk, but he would qualify as a good guy. So you don't have to be a punk to be a good guy. The point is that what you're calling a good guy may be a punk, and because he doesn't have the ability to take care of the rest of his business, he's a punk. See, in other words, he got his baby finger stuck out around his glass of Chablis, sipping and nibbling on cheese and crackers in a 5-star hotel bar. See, so you got to understand, it's this. You look in history, and the baddest ass warriors in history were also brainy. See, and if they didn't have it, they had somebody with a brain that they protected and they relied upon.
I have a new definition of a thug. My definition of a thug is not so much fighting little guys on the streets. Like when I think they won some stand-up brave guys. They risk takers. They willing to take risks. They don't let the government control them. and they stand up and live their lives within moderation, but with not moderation. Meaning, like, they don't let since the government placed laws in their face, ridiculous laws too, and they don't just fold and bend. They willing to take a risk to be the man who they are.
I don't want to cut you off, but remember when I said the propaganda is successful when the target of the propaganda starts thinking in terms of the propaganda? That's what you do. Why do you call that person a thug?
Because that's where the root word, that's where the thug came from.
No, it isn't. Thug came from India, Kamala Harris's place. They were a bunch of religious fanatics that have roamed the countryside as a principle, robbing people, murdering people, mutilating people. And they were called thugs, thuggies. So thuggies got translated by the English into thugs. Thugs are not cool, but because of the glamorization, the glorification of dysfunction over the last 50 years, we take a negative term and we start applying it to something positive. All you are describing is a man. It's not a thug. It's a man. And that's what men do. I know some billionaires, and I find it interesting that the billionaires are not punks. They'll fight. And they're the first to volunteer when the shit hits the fan because they've got a stake in it. I know some stone cold killers who have retired from the military and they taught how to put a knife in somebody's throat real well. And they've done it. Killed people. Know how many they've killed, but they're the nicest people. And they protect the folk that they're responsible for. And they're cool to drink beer with. A thug is a thug. What you're describing is a man, not a thug, but they want you to think thug. So the negative connotation that goes along with it is causing your subconscious to incline you to criminality and social and personal dysfunction. So quit thinking of what you're talking about as a thug. It's not. It's just being a man because he's taking care of business. And that's what your job is, taking care of business.
Well,
that's an example.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of these men that comes on here, and it's we met a few military. I already know how they get trained in the military, but the overall black men that's just average black men that comes on here, and they've been having a problem with getting women to submit to them to the point where they implemented this passport pro stuff, and I would say it's on their character because men like my caliber is not having these issues really with women. I have never had to tell a woman that I'm alpha. I never had to tell a woman to submit to me. It was just naturally. It was just naturally when you get involved with a woman. A woman submits to you when she gives you permission to her body. That's the ultimate submission that a woman could give you. Would you agree?
Maybe. And see, there's several ways of this. The proverb is there's more than one way to skin a cat. Or as we use, there's more than one way to strip a pussy. Now,
okay, tell us some ways.
Cite their quest to be exposed to raw masculinity. You can do that, or you can put a little element of that into the mix. You can be somebody that they can depend on to protect them when it hits the fan, or you can do the wine, dine, and candlelight thing if you know how to do that. In other words, you have to have class. Now, I hate to use a movie reference or a literary one, but James Bond. He's a stone cold killer. He's got a license to kill under the English government, a 00 number, but he is urbane, suave, and sophisticated, and he gets the ladies because they like his aura and his raw appeal, but the man is the epitome of sophistication, knowledge, and culture. See, the baddest folk in a society are the most cultured. Remember the movie Godfather with Marlon Brando? Oh, he's all fine down in the tux, and everybody that's running, one of the families in the mob is impeccable. And Lucky Luciano and John Gotti and all of that, they're all clean. Okay, that's real. I knew some of them, know some of them. And they do that. All right. You're talking about, somebody that can look at some of the rap entertainers when they really get established. They start putting on suits and ties, the uniform. Look at the men who, Lord Bullington, are you satisfied, sir, with the formality? Yeah. And if you're talking about this dude, he's a badass with a battle axe and a sword, and he will slaughter your behind because since he's been 7 or 8 every day of his life, he's been practicing how to kill somebody. Lord Toranaga, hi, Toranaga. And, this dude is hell with a katana and a wakizashi. He's a swordsman and he don't take any shit, but he is very mannerable. Even in Africa, the great warriors are very polite people. You get the wild, wild west. Partner, do I need to take insult on what you just said, or was that just a slip of your tongue, or did you mean something else? Well, sir, meant no offense. I was merely trying to find out what's going on here. Well, then I guess we don't need to have no offense taken. What happened? They go out there, slap leather, agree the town ain't big enough for both of us. See, so polite men tend to be powerful men, and powerful men tend to be polite men. The mafia is polite. The old-time feudal lords were polite. The samurai lords were polite. Everybody, African chiefs are polite. Everybody's got protocols, except in our community, we try to act like thugs. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I would say, so I think America is thugs.
Well, America's not thug. America is a bunch of sissies that have found out a way to take advantage of a system that will protect them. It's kind of like, come here, you hit me with that book. Teacher, Tommy's going to hit me. He hit me with a book, Miss Johnson. Tommy, leave Billy alone. But he hit me. Nah, what are you gonna do? You just wait till after school. My mommy's coming to pick me up. Screw you. See, that's what you get in America. The punks took over the place, but we can switch it around because they're a very small percentage. They just took over the communications and entertainment industry, and they've got everybody convinced that they're in the majority. They're not. You got maybe 4 or 5% of the country's population at max, and half of them don't even buy into the crap. But, quit worrying about what you think is stylish, because most of what's stylish right now is dysfunctional. It ain't about being a man. See, you need to learn how to fight to be a man. You don't know how to fight, you're not much of a man. You need to learn how to think. You don't know how to think, you're not much of a man. See, you don't have character, you're not much of a man. You don't have it in here, you don't have hearts, you're not brave and courageous when necessary, you're not much of a man. And by the way, I make a big distinction between being brave and courageous and wanting to get your dumb ass dead because you hate yourself. Being suicidal is not being brave and courageous. You have to value your life and put it on the line. It's like suicide by ignorance. Hey, watch it, Earl, man. Check this out. Hey, man, what you looking at? You hear me talking to you, man? You in the blue. You talking to me. Ain't nobody out here but with blue on but you. What you saying, man? Well, man, look, man, it's all about your business. I'm from waiting on the bus to go to my job. I ain't got no job, fool. I say you looking at me. Man, go on about your business, man. I ain't looking at you, all right? What you gonna do, man? You looking at me? Man, watch this, Earl. Man, look here. Move up on me like that, man. I ain't playing with you. I don't know you. You gonna do something to me? Yeah, I'm gonna do something to you. What you gonna do? You just stay over there. You talk all you want. I'm waiting on the bus. Man, don't tell me what I'm gonna do, man. Don't move up on me like that. Man, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Boom, boom. Now, fool, you just sold some wolf tickets and I bought some. While you die, think about how you gonna pay. You know, somebody died for being a fool. Why did he do what he did? He hates himself. His life is zero. He doesn't have anything going. See, drive-bys, that's a little bitch shit. That's cause the grandmama got that habit in the family of throwing battery acid on her neighbor because the neighbor looked at her man at the time who left her 2 weeks later, and now she's mad.
I do think all that stuff do come from like feminine behaviors.
And yes, it does. Because you ain't got no daddy in the hood or in the house. So when there's no daddy in the hood in the house, there's no manhood in the hood or the hallway. See, a lot of this stuff, what's the difference between a hood rat and a lesbian?
A hood rat and a lesbian.
No.
They both are women.
Both of them got raised by a dysfunctional woman. They got ideated on the things that are of value to women, and they both like pussy. One of them's got a pussy, the other one's got a dick, but if the one with the pussy got the fairy godmother waved the magic wand and tomorrow she woke up with a dick, there's no difference.
No.
They think the same. They ideate the same. They walk around with their ass out. If the revolution hit, their britches would fall down to their ankles, butt up in the air. Like this started off 43 years ago. First time I saw it, July 1980, I was representing somebody that was a former client of my dead law partner who got killed. And I had to go do a late appeal. We're sitting out on the yard, Main Penitentiary of Nashville. Most of these guys have these tailored jeans because they can't wear any belts. Trimmed, looking good, been pumping some iron. And then I looked up and I saw this dude with this baggy shirt and his pants hung down below his butt with his boxers showing at the top. I said, what the hell is that? Oh, Lawyer Brown, man, like we up in here, man, we got everything we need except some warm, some soft ass, man. So like, we converted that to man pussy, man. It's like we already done made him some jewelry off in the metal shop, man. And Jamal had his baby sister in the care package, you know, with some lipstick and mascara, eyeshadow, plastic nails, and nail polish. We gonna girl dude out. He gonna be like them over there in them skirts, man, with that long weave in their head. We gonna see, and when he wear like dress like that, that's a signal to everybody. See them bushes, see them trees over there. When the guards ain't around, we just pull them down on him, bend him down, and get down. And if he try to run, he fall with his butt up in the air. And when he on the cell block, man, we have to make that baggy shirt. That's his dress. We don't let him wear no panties, nothing. We gonna girl him out. So all us up in here doing long time in life, we just take these short-termers and make them girls, man. And they get out, they don't lose no taste. By the time we get through with them, they be loving it. And that's the truth. I mean, I had clients, you know, where the mama would come in, they're teenagers, and mama's paying the fee. And then by the time they get 19 or so, mama can't afford it. Now they got 4 lady friends come in and pay the fee. Then they do their first serious time. They come out 3 years later. They got 3 gay folk, 1 woman paying their fee. And they like the taste. And they walk around sag, bagged, and dragged, looking like they're getting turned into man pussy. Now, by 1990 something, it switched over from everybody turning dude out and everybody but fucking him. It turns into, this dude belonged to somebody important. So now you see everybody lower the sag, the cooler the dude. No, you just look like you getting turned out and butt fucked up in the joint. That's how it started. And did you realize that when you got to perpetrating? By the way, are you ready for the revolution? Or if it hit the fan, can you get up? And by the way, one of my things I detest, why did you run? Were you trying to get away from a crime? I can understand that, man. Get your ass on up. Don't get caught. I was scared. Well, you punked out. But you punked out, man. Brave man doesn't run. He turns and deals with it. I mean, you trying to get away because you did something. Yeah, that's cool. That's what you do. But you tell me you ran from the police so because you scared? You punk motherfucker, you. And if you want to be badass, goddammit, and get yourself killed, then go there and play kamikaze on somebody's ass. Next time they'll think about it. But you sit up there and you run. Didn't your mama ever tell you don't run from a dog? Why? Because when you get a predatory animal seeing you run and show fear, what do? And the baddest predator on the whole goddamn planet is not a tiger, it's not a lion, it's not a shark, it's us. Because we kill so damn many of them that if we don't protect them, they're gone. So you take the number 1 predator that planet Earth has ever come up with, and what do? You show fear and your punk ass runs. The hell you think?
You sound like you really meant that too.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, ain't nobody been in a fight. Man, when I grew up, by the time you got 17, 16, you've been in more fights than you can remember. Bam, bam, you know what time it is. Started off when you was in kindergarten. You know, you got up in some second grader's face. You getting slapped upside your head and your feelings hurt. Somebody in kindergarten with you do this, you got to put them, you got to see who's dominant. And by the time you get grown, you know this is going to lead to a fight. That'll diffuse it. Is it worth getting into a fight? What is the grievance? So they don't get it. Oh my God, all of the bullying. We have to protect all of the children from the bullies, the teachers and the parents. And the police have to protect them. And they got the goddamn police down there to arrest somebody 8 years old because they got in a shoving match. In my day, the teachers would take a long time walking over there so the kids could work out the dominance thing. The coaches would put you in the gym. Go on, fight it out.
Yeah. And that's
the teachers and the principals and the vice principals, the coaches would say, don't let him treat you like that. You need to learn to fight. Let me give you somebody's name. They'll teach you how to box. So you can stand up for yourself. Do you remember this movie, Back to the Future, McFly?
I heard of it.
McFly's father was bullied by Biff. So McFly Jr. goes back in time with the time machine. He meets his dad and his mom when they're in high school. Mom starts falling for him, but he got to back off. That's a little sick, but he teaches his father about standing up for self. So dad busts Biff in the mouth at high school senior prom. So when he gets back to the future, the present, guess what? Biff is dad's flunky now because dad stood up to the bully. See, they used to understand that, but that was like 36 years ago when that movie franchise came out. So they've forgotten it. Oh my God, the children have to be protected from the bullies. Well, yeah, granted, the boys don't punch it out, they sissy out and they pop caps on each other. I mean, sometimes killing is appropriate. There's a thing called justifiable homicide. But the bottom line is minor grievances that are just about establishing a dominance hierarchy. You don't kill somebody off of that. Because if you work it out, that person can become your ally. And human
Most
nature.
of my friends came from fighting with each other.
You know where it is. If this dude put up a good fight, even if you beat him, you know, he's part of your team. You're part of his. You can work together. Nobody's a punk. Everybody stood up. He might think better than you. He might have better game and get more pussy than you do.
Oh my God.
You on how to do it. So I hate to use those crude terms, but people need to get to understand what time it is.
Okay, here's a video. Remember, I told you about the drill scene in Chicago, Illinois, where these two young black men, one of them named FYB J Main, and the other one name is Tay Savage, and those two used to try to kill each other, and somehow one of them, the Tay Savage got the guy that's standing up. He just got him from serving 10 years in prison. From they had like a little gang war right against each other. Well, they decided to promote peace, and they came together. I want you to see, huh?
That's good. That's good.
Watch this stuff. I think this is going viral to see actually Chicago drillers that used to be trying to kill to trying their hardest to delete each other. Now they doing this together.
So it's a gang product. I'm with the steppers, like you know,
bro. That's your ass, bro. That's your ass. You ain't gonna make it like that. Yeah.
I don't talk about your cereal, J-Man.
Bro.
I don't talk about your cereal.
The music, bro. These whoops, they going.
J-Man, them Fruit Loops in the whoop box.
Nah, bro, you whooping. Hold this. It's hurt.
Hey, man, nigga, I'm out of here, man. I can't wait till I'm on stage.
They making plays together. I think I find that to be very dope. I think the younger black men is going to make a bigger difference than we ever have.
Well, maybe if you know what to do, but you see nobody's teaching you what to do. That's like World War II, World War I, Korea, Vietnam. What happened? You know, you just got drafted. You've been through basic training. They sent you over there to a combat zone. If you had good sense, you talk to the veterans to see what time it is so you don't get killed learning. Now, that's the same thing now. Nobody's teaching folk what this is. Now, it's a good thing that they're doing there, but right now I'm meeting with some of the OGs in the street gangs about brokering public peace. It isn't the first time I did it. I've been to Jamaica to do that, the Bahamas, at the behest of the governments to broker peace between the real live organized crime gangsters and the government to get peace so everybody can breathe and do what is necessary rather than killing each other over crumbs. Now, it works, but I mean, I've been in places where the prime ministers said, I want you to talk to the youth, Judge Brown. Now, in the Caribbean, the youth means you are 18 to 35, not 18 and under. So the first meeting with the youth, Judge Brown, we will respect you, man. See the person to your left, man. He got contract on me life. He gonna kill me. That he bodyguard, man. He gonna do me wrong. And see my man over there, he gonna kill him. But we trying to broker the peace here. So that's why you hear to talk what we talk with the prime minister and his people. See, the prime minister double-crossed them because they delivered the election for him so he could get in power. And what he was supposed to do is pardon them for their juvenile offenses, not their adults. See, over there, the juvenile offenses stay with you. So they were nonviolent offenses, just pardon everybody so they could get a job. They don't have any crime record as adults, though. I mean, they had a bigger bankroll than the whole damn island treasury did officially. So one day they had one of the British royals, you know, the bunch we pay all attention to now, Meghan Markle and Prince, whatever his ass name is. one of those folk had one of his mansions broken into. So I'm sitting in the not prime minister, the attorney general's office. She was one fine sister. Let me tell you, she was fine. So we're chatting and I'm grinning with the conversation. And the call came in. She said, Judge Brown, it's one of the hoodlums here on the line. Would you like to? I said, put it on the speaker. Judge Brown, would you be so kind as to inform the Attorney General that we have the two suspects for the burglary? You will find them at a precinct so-and-so and so-and-so, and they are zip-tied to the banister out back with handwritten confession pinned to shirt. So, I mean, they solved the crime in 2 hours, and the crime was dropping. Peace was dropping. Everybody was making more money. Then he got turned out, and I gave them some blackmail information on him. So it was a balance. You know what the prime minister was doing? First off, his salary was just $38,000 a year, American. So what he was doing to become a rich man is his father had run a taxi business, and he got a corner on all these license plates that you need to operate taxis or limos in the Bahamas. But the catch is they hadn't issued any new ones since 1974. If you bent one, they'd give you a replacement. So he was renting these license plates from 50 to 100,000 a year to entrepreneurs, and he had about 150 of them. So he was making big bucks. Technically, under their law, that's illegal. So the prime minister was breaking laws, and the street gangsters were breaking laws, but they meshed up so they could have peace and reduce the whole level of criminality. And they found that if everybody just followed the Bahamian law, everybody could make money and nobody's going to jail. Well, I'm doing the same thing over here, but that's what you can do when you broker peace.
Speaking of breaking laws, there was a fellow gentleman I think we all know who has been indicted. I believe he got indicted by the name of Donald D. Trump. What is your thoughts on the Trump situation?
Well, let me say this. To understand what I'm going to say, forget it's Donald Trump. Let me give you an example. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used in evidence. You've heard that, right?
Right, a lot of times.
Okay. What's the name attached to it? Your Miranda rights.
Miranda rights, yeah.
Miranda was not a nice person. He was a scumbag. Wound up getting himself killed. But if they had the attitude then that they have now, we never would have the articulation of the Miranda rights, because he's a scumbag. He needed to be in jail. Okay, fine, but that's not what it is. Justice is blind. So what happens is, forget it's Donald Trump, and let's substitute anybody, me, you, your mama, your grandparents, or whatever, some homeboy you know out in the streets. Put him in Trump's position, and you see what this wicked witch, who acts like she didn't attend law school or didn't pay attention in the first year of law school, and everything she indicted the man on is constitutionally protected. And what she did was illustrate why there's a Bill of Rights, which is to protect the ordinary citizen from the use of government authority for political purposes. Now, you have a collection of 4 local yokels that decided that they are going to jump in and they're going to tie up somebody so they can protect the country from whomever they want to be the next president. So here you go, 360 million people, and 4 folk tie up everybody else because wherever they were, they decided to do it. Now, let's supposing, to give you the opposite, let's say that in some back county in Lexington or outside of Lexington, Kentucky, or some back county in the swamps down in North Carolina someplace, or some small county located in Never Never Land, Montana, decided that they didn't like somebody that was righteously down with the cause who was talking reparations. So they would return indictments against him. You see, so everybody would get tied up. Likelihood of any conviction they get from a local jury standing up on appeal is practically zero, but you just tied the person up who's talking about reparations, so he can't do anything. By the way, Donald Trump was working with Ice Cube on the Platinum Plan, which is effectively a form of reparations. He's the only president that ever got up and said, you built this country. Other people have participated, but you essentially built it. Ain't nobody said that. By the way, I don't care what anybody says, Biden is a low-down racist dog. The first time I heard his racist ass was in 1972. And he was in association with the former chairman of Grand Dragon, or whatever in the hell they call him, of the Ku Klux Klan, Byrd. Then there was Stennis, there was Eastland, there was Faubus, George Wallace up there tooting this ducktail wearing, looking something out of early modern history wing for the Smithsonian Institution. And you got him in, but black folk did not have the buying power after Lyndon Baines Johnson got out of office all the way to Trump. He ramped it back up. The last person that saw the money that he put into discretionary funds through the Department of Education to historical black colleges and universities to vocational training, etc., was LBJ. Big drop until you got to Trump, was the first one to bring it back up. Now it's gone down, but all the Negroes love their slave master. Joe Biden, who when I heard him was bragging about it, he grew up in Delaware, which was a slave-holding state, so they knew their Negroes and they knew how to keep them in place, etc., etc. So, yeah,
I just want to see what Donald Trump had to say of why he was in that situation right quick.
My freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's very simple. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They want you silent. And I am the only one that can save this nation because you know they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. They want to take...
Yeah, well, essentially, that's true. Because Biden and Kamala Imhoff, Mrs. Kamala Imhoff, they aren't out for you. See, you're not getting anything. Somebody else is. It's the new religious cult.
See, my thing is,
that cult, by the way, is the rainbow cult. I'm not talking about gays, lesbians, and bisexual. I'm talking about the cult some of them support, along with trannies and pedophiles and that, LGBTQIA. The I stands for intersectionality. And that means where it all comes together at an intersection, and that includes pedophiles as well. Wow. See, that's serious business. Buddhism is a religion, but Buddhism doesn't have a God. It's a system of philosophy. This LGBTQIA plus thing is a system of philosophy, and it qualifies as a religion. And everybody else's principles and precepts have evaporated in the public arena. So a lot of individuals feel the need to have guiding principles. So this cult substitutes for that in both parties, some Republicans, mostly Democrats, a whole lot of people in the entertainment and communications industry. They are card-carrying members, so to speak, of a new religious cult, and they're trying to push it. They want you to think they're a majority, but at best, There's just 7.5% of the public that goes along with some of the practices. Less than 0.5% are tranny. 1% slightly less are lesbian. 1.5% are gay, and about 4.5% are bisexual. So that totals maximum in the country of 7.5%. Most of them are not followers of this cult, and a lot of gay folk declare it to be a cult. It's like if you're a Christian, that doesn't mean you supported Reverend Jim Jones and drinking Kool-Aid at large outdoor picnics in Guyana.
Right.
I mean, if you're Islamic, you support Al Qaeda or ISIS. So just because somebody is gay, I mean, get your freak on in your bedroom. You know, that's your business. But that does not mean that they support this cult. So we have to make a distinction. They're trying to make this the official religion. You go to an American consulate or embassy or DC, you can't put a cross under the American flag on a government flagpole. You can't put the crescent there. You can't put the Jewish star there. You can't put a Buddha symbol. You can't put a Hindu symbol there. But you got the rainbow flag there. All over the world, they're showing this new religious affiliation, the rainbow, the Skittles, you know. So what are we looking at?
I hate the fact they done took the rainbow. I mean, we used to love the rainbow, but now we got to set it to the side because that community done claimed it.
That's what I'm talking about take a term that has one meaning and by use over and over and over again, get people to associate it with another, like thug and a few other things. There's a truism. Tell a lie long enough and loud enough, you can get anybody, including the liar, to believe it. So what they do is they tell this tale long and loudly in many places because they control the communications media. And people say, oh, that's what they start thinking as. Rainbow, you know, is not black. But you see, black folk who are dissatisfied with what they are, they can resign and join another secret society where they become the new ethnic group. That's our problem. And why we get so little from the Black Caucus in Congress is because too many of them are card-carrying members of the rainbow religion.
So, because I'm noticing how they like really pushing this rainbow stuff. It started off with the white community. Everything that's been messed up for us, it started off in white communities. I guess the first trans was Caucasian.
No, it wasn't.
When they was dressing up in female dresses.
No, it wasn't. Think about it. Geraldine.
Paul Mooney. How old is Paul Mooney?
We're not talking about Paul Mooney. We're talking about Geraldine. We're talking about back in the 20s. We're talking about here in Memphis 55 years ago. They had a character named Peaches that used to put on these drag queen shows for ladies' night at the local clubs when there were a lot of black clubs. We're talking about somebody back in, I don't remember his name, in Chicago back in the early 1950s. He had a little drag review he'd travel around Chicago clubs with. They have ladies' night out there. We've had that all the way back.
So let me ask you a question, because it seemed like we fighting against it, but it might be God, right? If they say we are made in the image of God, okay, there's an image of a man and there's an image of a woman. So if we all made into the image of God, that means God will be a tranny.
Well, let's try this one. Christianity arose from Judaism. It was known for the first 400 or 500 years as a Jewish sect. Islam flows directly from both of them. But Islam and Judaism, the originator, forbid the depiction of God, Allah, Muhammad, or anybody else because they're talking about a force. They don't want somebody to anthropomorphically personify what they're talking about is a Greek god in a dirty old robe with a long beard. They don't want that. So when they talk about image, they're not talking about what Christians talk about when they're saying God is supposed to be in the image. They actually are saying men reflect the energy of God. It is a thing. It is a force. And in Jewish temples, there's an infinity symbol that they use to represent the concept. So we have a religion that split off from Judaism and was known as a Jewish sect that had as its fundamental principle, you don't need to know or understand your religion. Just have faith that your anointed leaders will lead you in the right way. That was the Christian perspective for several hundred years. So we think of that, and a lot of what's going on is because of translation errors. Most Christians, particularly Black Christians, what they think of as the Bible is the King James edition. King James edition was 17th century after the 13 original colonies in what became the United States had already been formed. So it's something new. King James was trying to deal with a Protestant imposition on what had been a Catholic country. So he came up with a translation, or he commissioned one, and you have some language problems. Like, for example, what does cleave mean? It means take a cleaver and bam, you chop it into two, to cleave asunder. But the English that they were using was Shakespearean English, and what is it? A husband and his wife were supposed to cleave together. To cleave has the exact opposite meaning now as it did 400 years ago. Well, 380 years ago. So you see, you've got a lot in there where it gets missed out in the translation just because it's old, well, not even old English, that's Shakespearean English. And by the way, it's kind of laughable. The Southern drawl is how English used to be spoken in Shakespeare's time. See, we think of English the way the effete elite came up with at the beginning of the 19th century. I said, it's quite charming here. I really enjoy the food. It's so fascinating, don't you think? But you see, when Shakespeare was doing it, this line you hear all the time in Shakespeare, is this a dagger that I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I see thee not, yet I see thee still. That's not how they spoke it. You know what it sounded like? Is this here dagger that I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I see thee not, but I shall see thee still. See, you can even understand it better when it's pronounced right. So there's a whole lot of ignorance that's perpetrated. Give you another one. Aryan Brotherhood, Aryan Nation. What is the Aryan supposed to look like if it's a female? Marilyn Monroe, blonde hair, blue-eyed, right?
Right.
That's not what Aryans look like. There are real Aryans. There's a whole bunch of them around. They're termed in anthropology Indo, I-N-D-O hyphen Aryan. But they're not blonde hair, blue-eyed. You know what they look like?
What they look like?
Or she is one.
Who?
She is one. Kamala Harris.
I would believe it.
I met her father in Jamaica. He was introduced to me as our favorite Hindu professor. My ex-wife wanted to know what he was. He said, I am an Indo-Aryan. I am a Caucasian, Brahmin caste, Indo-Aryan, mixed with Caucasian Irish. And she had seen some stuff. She said, well, what about your grandmother? He said, she's not black. She's a Hindu house servant. And that's the only one that is in the family that's dark. So this would be Kamala Harris's great grandmother. And if that woman was all African, she'd be 1/8 black, which isn't what
Really
the case,
black.
because the woman wasn't even supposed to be 100% black. And her grandson is telling me, and my wife, she was an Indo-Aryan Hindu. So you see the lie told long enough, loud enough by Hitler's boys, the Aryans were blonde-haired, blue-eyed supermen that if they were female would, I guess, resemble Marilyn Monroe or something like that, rather than looking like Kamala Imhoff. And by the way, Mrs. Nancy Pelosi, Mrs. Feinstein, you go down the whole list of them, Mrs. this, that, and the other. Why she Miss Harris and doesn't want us to hear the Imhoff part. That's who she married. She adopted his children. So are we supposed to ignore that? And by the way, if you are mixed black and white, do they call you white?
No, they call you black.
Mm-hmm. If you're mixed black and Chinese, do they call you Chinese?
Black. If you got one drop of black in you, black.
Okay, then how do you get called Asian? If you're mixed Asian, Indian, and black, unless you're accepted by the Indian population as Indian, because you ain't black. And there's a whole long laundry list of Indians that passed for black because they wanted the scholarships, the school advantages. There's one that famously wrote a book about it. He faked being black. He says he's Hindu. You can see it now that he grew his hair back, but he shaved it close. And he passed with a scholarship to medical school as black. I had some very fine looking, I thought, dark-skinned sisters, your complexion, and darker, working on my show. He said, we're not black women, we're Hindus. I said, damn.
Well, they got jet black people in all race, in all ethnicities. Like when I went to
I ain't holding anything against them. They're fine people. It's just, what does it say about somebody that's denying their origins? What about the insult to our own people? What about the fact that Indians in America are suffering badly because some are trying to bring this untouchability over here? You can be a billionaire, own the company, but if you are a practicing Hindu and you brush up against this billionaire who all happens to have untouchability in his background, you have to get purified because you can pollute it yourself because you touched an untouchable person. But she's not doing anything to help her own people out.
Damn.
It's cold-blooded. It's ranked out. Like one of these handkerchief-head house Negroes, third floor bed wench, running around trying to exploit their circumstances. And LA Times, by the way, when they didn't like her, she was coming up through California politics being a Hindu, Indian / Asian, they used to remark on all of her slutting,
So she's not even real black.
No, she's not. But
Daddy's Harry's wife too.
What's that?
Prince Harry's wife. She's not black.
Oh,
either.
she's black. But see, the difference is that's not the first black in the English royal family. When the Americans got into that Revolutionary War, King George III was the King of England. He had some mental health issues, and also England was broke because they'd been paying out too much gold bullion for tea. Well, to do something about his poor financial status, he married the granddaughter of one of his cousins who was an English lord who had been touring Africa. Well, he had a daughter by an African woman, and the granddaughter, who had a huge dowry, was married off to King George III, and all of the plantation owning Southern whites in the 13 colonies said they couldn't remain under a king who had an in wife at home, where the heir to the throne was an in. So that had a great deal to do with it. So the English aristocracy has a built-in black component, thanks to King George and his wife. So it ain't nothing new for Meghan Markle to be a colored queen, but she's not a queen because she pussy whipped her husband and he gave all that up. But now, if she handles it right, her children would be in line for the throne.
Dang, it was something else too. I was about to ask you about moving forward. I think, yeah, with the trans again. So, because I already said that, you know, if we are made in the image of God, that means men and women could be imaged. What do we explain about morphodite with people that was born with two parts?
That is called a mistake of nature. Something went wrong. See, as we sit here, we're bombarded with cosmic rays. Every now and then, one of them intersects with one of our gene cells. It usually wrecks the DNA in the cell. Maybe it just slightly changed one. One's good, some mostly for bad. Maybe it hits the gonads or the egg-producing ovaries or the sperm-producing testes. And by accident, every few million times, you may get something favorable. But mostly it's not. And one of the not things is hermaphrodites. They have the organs of both sexes. Usually what happens is there's an election made, but that is so rare, it's like a two-headed snake. So if you have a two-headed snake or a three-legged frog, what do you want to do? Graft a third leg onto all people or put another head on everybody? It's like, okay, you're an unfortunate. You're like thalidomide babies that were born where their hands were coming out of their shoulders. They had no arms. That's not nice. It's unfortunate. They are the victims of the random strikes of cosmic rays. We're getting hit by millions of them every few seconds. So it ain't their fault. But nobody else is supposed to go do that, because what you're running into with that is a justification, which is a very, 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 very rare thing. Is mommy, I want to be a snake. Please, mommy, can I be a snake? Oh, Tommy, I understand. Mommy will, when we can afford it, have your arms and legs amputated so you can slither around like a snake. Yes, baby. You know, I have one. Hey, man, come look at my Rolls Royce. You got you a Rolls, man? A used? No, man, it's a new Rolls. You got you a new Rolls? Yeah, man, come look. Where is it? Right there. Man, all I see is a Prius, man. That's a Rolls. What the hell you mean a Rolls? See the wing thing on the hood, man, and the RR, it says Rolls Royce, man. Man, fool, that's just the label. No, it's a Rolls. Man, that's a Prius. No, man, it's a trans brand Rolls, man.
Well, they calling me in. I'm at the library. Golly, we do 2-hour streams here. I like to shout you out,
Now,
Judge Brown.
everybody got a right to get their freak on, but just because you got a right don't mean it's right.
Right. I believe in the old way. Man plus woman equals you put the puzzle. That's only one way to put the puzzle together. All of this other stuff, trying to figure things out with the same thing, you could try all you want to. That puzzle piece, in order to get that puzzle piece up and moving and completed, if you take the male with the female and connect it together.
Well, how about this one? What do you see whenever you see a human? Me, you, anybody else in the library on the way out? What do you see?
People.
No, you see a successful screw. You see somebody met up, somebody got a hard on, somebody got wet, went in and out, and something happened, somebody got knocked up 9 months later, out popped Junior, or
we all popped out.
And then they grew up, they got trained, they got attracted to the opposite sex. There was a screw, something else popped out. That's why we have humans. It's called the next generation. I don't mind what somebody does in their bedroom. That's their business. Get their freak on. But when you start messing up this paradigm that deals with human male-female attraction, courtship rituals, and everything else, you got a problem. Now, here's the other one. If you look at a naked woman, it's obvious you're not looking at a naked man. You look at a naked man, it's obvious you're not looking at a naked woman if you get a full 360 view. But you see, we don't walk around naked unless we're in the house, partying with the lady friend, or vice versa if she's a woman, or you at a resort somewhere. So when we wear clothes by human cultural tradition, what you have on outside is supposed to match what you are inside. So like a friend of mine said, Joe, man, I was in Atlanta, man, and I was in the lounge. I saw what I thought was the finest woman I'd ever laid eyes on. I got enough nerve to go say something, turned out to be a boy. Now, you see, the next time dude gets to engage in everybody's favorite sport, at least it used to, girl watching, he's going to check himself. He doesn't know whether he's looking at a girl or a boy. And believe me, if the boys dealt with girl watching, the girls dealt with boy watching. If you don't believe that, drop into a beauty salon and check out what the girls are saying. I used to have a mother-in-law who was a beautician. My niece is a beautician. You should hear what the ladies talk about when they're in these places. They're worse than we are. Girl, look at that. He got lots of stuff, honey. Wouldn't you like to get touched up by that? Woo, girlfriend. That's the way they talk. And we talk, man, she fine, man. They'd make dudes blush, man, if you heard what they were saying. But see, they like the boy watch, we like the girl watch, but some people are messing that up. So, everybody instead of, man, damn, whoo, shoot, man, you don't look and see. It used to be somebody cut you off in a car. Oh shit, baby, cut me off again. Hell.
Yeah, they get a little respect for you when they start looking at you, Johnson. I like to appreciate you, Judge O'Brien.
Knocked to the wayside because some people started off with hate. See that? Oh, I should say that. Back 55 years ago in the mid 60s, see, there was a coalition came together because they didn't like the way men were treating women and the other ones. You had the ones that hated that they weren't men. That's the feminists. You had the ones that hated men, not because they wanted to be one. That's the feminists. They hated that they weren't men. Then you had a certain kind of lesbian that hated men, not all lesbians, because some of them like guys, they just don't want to screw them or they'd rather screw girls. Then you had the weak men that hated that they weren't strong men. Then you had some of the gay folk that hated that they weren't normal men. And then you had a big bunch that gave them the jump start they needed, who hated men because they thought men caused war. And this was when the Nam was going on. So they got together in a coalition and they got what was necessary to get into communications, entertainment, politics, and everything else. And 50 years later, you're here now. I just thought I'd say that.
And I wanted to shout you guys out. Shout out Jay. Make sure y'all hit that description down at the bottom, jjbbbq.com, and cash up Mr. The Honorable with the $ Judge Joe Brown 2023.
And then you can visit my campaign site, jjb2023.com. jjb2023.com. That's Judge Joe Brown in 2023. We got a chant, JJB in 2023. JJB in 2023. Send Brown downtown, take back your town. JJB 2023 for mayor of Memphis, Tennessee. Send Brown downtown.
That was pretty tight. I had actually made a video for you that I want to see your thoughts on this before we go. Let me see. I think you might like it, Jazz. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Amongst these young black men.
On a crime alert in South Memphis, where police are investigating one of the city's latest homicides.
News: one person is dead, 10 others injured after 2 shootings overnight in Memphis.
Information following Monday's shooting in South Memphis that left 2 people dead.
We are going to need the Honorable Judge Joe Brown to lay these young black men across his lap and give them the ultimate stiff justice, if you know what I mean.
You're running to make a little history yourself. You're running for mayor of Memphis, and we know that the city's been in the headlines for the murder of Tyre Nichols, among other things.
And what's going on is Memphis is a dangerous place. Just this last weekend, we had 14 shootings or stabbings, and yesterday we had 4 more.
Judge Brown says there are certain things that men can do that make them better fit to lead the city of Memphis. Tonight, he's not backing down as the community sounds off.
I don't want to get crude about it, but some places you need to go to exercise leadership. Some of the good ladies in here would get drugged into an abandoned apartment and raped.
As a city of majority women and majority black people, what makes them feel that in this moment in their leadership, they should run for mayor instead of uplifting a black woman to run?
Judge Todd Stearns here. I'm on record saying you're one of the few men with common sense running in the race.
Recent comments. Joining me now is Judge Joe Brown. Judge, thank you for joining me. I feel that the black community should not have continued to express outrage and call George Zimmerman the killer because under the law he was innocent?
They should express outrage with themselves for lacking such political influence in the selection of the district attorney or in the even weight assigned to them. See, the rules are the same, but from my perspective, I think of all the black folk that have called me over the last 35 of jury service, all of the black folk that voted a handout where you got a racist idiot on that handout for judge and they don't even pay attention to who's on the ballot. I think of all of the black folk who don't go out and vote for sheriff or effectively for mayor or for the district attorney and complain about it. See, when you have an opportunity to do something about it, do it.
Let's make sure you guys vote for the Honorable Judge Joe Brown to become mayor of Memphis, Tennessee in September 2023. Now, to combine it with the child support, how is it you're going to hold a group of men that was raised primarily from females and was raised with a female perspective? Not saying they are GAY, but they was brought up under an effeminate foundation. And so when they operate in that form and they get in front of a judge, they get trialed as a man.
Okay. I got elected to 2 8-year terms. I dropped the statewide recidivism rate for felons from 80% to 18% in my courtroom by addressing that. The secret, cause them to man up. Sometimes I have had to lecture people for the longest to get them to see it. You saw it right away. That's impressive. That is the key to success.
I'm Jay Prince for president, and I approve this message. I bet you won't pick up a gun this time.
Yeah, I like that. Can you send me that thing? Because I sure as hell will use it.
You like it? Oh yeah, definitely. I would definitely send it to you. And I got one more. I think you probably seen. Well, you saw the barbecue sauce, so you really liked it, huh?
That's nice. All right. The one where I was talking to the idiot there, he's a little weak, but I was all swollen up because I was getting treated for throat cancer. They beat it, but I mean, man, that was rough. So I could hardly talk, and I had this huge fluid buildup. So, yeah, that was interesting. My voice wasn't what it was. So what I was saying was, over the last 35 years, not just 35, but the sense is there. So anyway, that's good stuff. I like it. Well edited.
Yeah, shout out to the girl her name.
That woman, by the way, that was complaining.
Yeah, man. You really ticked her off, didn't you?
Good. And she used to date somebody on my campaign, so I got all the bad stuff on her. So it's funny.
Really?
Yeah. It ain't too cool. But
I was looking for you running because wait, the
right
run.
now, nobody knows. See, there's 17 people, including me, in the race. There's no incumbent. There's no runoff. So if you are the lead vote getter, you get one more vote with the person in second and the person in second place, you win. No runoff. But there's other stuff on the ballot. But right now, it's funny. Out of the 17 candidates, they will show pictures and names of 16 and leave me off of there. And I'm the one that everybody knows. They have a blackout in this area. They won't even cover your commercials that you're running. So what I get is, Judge, why don't you run for mayor? I am. You are? Yeah, have a card. Okay, man, I'm with you. So we have a headquarters down in the hood. You know, we aren't trying to be bourgeois about the whole thing. And people look at us funny because we're always down there. And so we have the street people. And that's what is Memphis. So the rest of these folk, they raise money with all of the corporations and they're all this and that, but they're afraid to talk to the people. In fact, I've got a dare that I put out there. I said, bet none of you will walk with me where I can walk without you getting out of there without an ass whipping. Now, the other thing is when I said that, you heard what I said about you get snatched in someplace and raped.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours later, young rich woman insisted on jogging. She got kidnapped, raped, brutally tortured, and brutally murdered. The person that did her in, they found, had also raped somebody else a few months before, but they did not test the rape kits. If they had tested the rape kits, they would have found him, discovered him, and this other woman wouldn't have been kidnapped, raped, tortured, and murdered. And
there are 28,000 untested rape kits in Memphis, and they're trying to hold them hostage to some money that's been appropriated. They had 9 years to test them, but still haven't tested them. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says they'll get them done in 30 days, but nobody's interested because it cuts off access to the petty cash in the bowl. Making money at women's expense. That's what I mean, and that's a reality. This is the rape capital of the United States, Memphis. It's the murder capital of the United States. It's the carjacking capital. It is the capital of kidnapping and sex. Here, chief police brought in after being fired for being involved with a child porn ring. The people she was involved with are doing federal time now. Why is it they bring her in? So this is what I'm talking about. In the proposition they put to me, the question I was answering is, there has never been a black woman who has been mayor of the city. There hasn't been any woman who's mayor of the city. So will you withdraw from the race in favor of a black woman so we can get our first black female? What's that got to do with anything? That's sexist. It's hell. It's also racist and it's biased gender-wise. I'm a man, so why should I do that? Meanwhile, right now, with the way Memphis is, it's a war going on out there.
Right.
People are dying. There's 700 some families who have lost loved ones in the last 2 some years. So what are we gonna do about that? And then you listen to the one there. I think women in this race right now, they all talk about what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a committee to study this. Or first thing I'm going to do is get together an advisory group so we can study this to find out what to do. Wait a minute. You're running for mayor and you don't know what to do and you're running. So by the time you find out, you get on the job training. So why don't you know already? So why do you presume that it's about sex rather than about qualifications? Why don't you assume that it's got anything to do with young brothers walking up to Judge Brown? Man, my granddaddy was talking about, I need to talk with you. Come on, young brother, let's talk. Judge Brown, what are you going to do? Man, we need some help, man. Okay. Or sitting down with the OGs like I did just the other day. Not the first time where I got traveling vice lords, gangsters, disciples, etc., Crips. Matter of fact, you want to talk about Crips, one of my students on the playground when I was a playground director in LA at Freddie Avenue Elementary School with Dr. Cliff Stewart, Dr. Ron Chappelle, and Dr. Joe Brown when we didn't have those doctorate degrees. One of our students, 14-year-old volunteer, Tookie Williams, who wound up being one of the co-founders of the LA Crips. We couldn't get him out of the swamp. He just became the baddest alligator on the swamp and wound up being the last person executed in California. We had another one, the late singer Barry White. He was a skinny little 12-year-old. Unfortunately, he got afflicted with all kinds of diabetic problems and he died of complications. See, yeah, the point is protecting womanhood and promoting manhood. So when you promote manhood, you get the peace. Now, that's the formula. And nobody else out there can go interface with the people.
Man, y'all make sure y'all go, people up in Memphis, make sure y'all vote for the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. His campaign is campaign is JudgeJoeBrown2023.com. His barbecue sauce also JJB BBQ.com, and his Cash App. Support the man at $ Judge Joe Brown 2023.
Yeah, by the way, one of my collaborators, Chef Damon, is Beyonce's personal chef. Also, Tiffany Haddish is an investor in the business.
And we also have an affiliate who's one of the two sisters in the United States that owns a distillery, whiskey, bourbon, Poppies, P-A-P-I.
You should have her come on the show with you sometime. You think you get her to come on with us?
Yeah, I probably could. She's a good looking woman, but she's on LA time, which is 2 hours behind my time. And then we've got one of the things we offer is a barbecue product, smoked and raw chicken links, mild and hot. And a sister owns the meat packing plant in Compton, California that does this, and it's the only USDA certified black-owned meat packing plant in California. So we're doing pretty well in terms of diversity. See, I'm not anti-woman. I just work with them.
Yeah, that's how I'm trying to tell them.
I'm the chief, and that's what it's all about. So, hey, let's do this. I'm sorry. After I'm gone, maybe it'll be safe for the sisters or some other woman. I don't know, but wait till we get there. And my chief of staff is a woman. And the woman that I am the person I'm looking at to be city attorney is a well-experienced sister. She's very interesting. She helped found the Black Patrolmen's Association in 1979 when she was riding around in the squad car. She also put herself through law school. So she was a U.S. attorney, assistant U.S. attorney for 19 years, 15 as a prosecutor, 4 in the Civil Rights Division. And also she is a defense lawyer now, and she's a law professor. So she's going to be the city attorney. So, I mean, I'm not holding it against women. It's just if you want things done in murder capital of the United States with a whole lot of hot and exciting times going on out in the street, you better get me in there because I'm the only one that can go out there. Even the sheriff steps a little lightly. He's running for mayor too, but he's got a problem. He's got 52 people that have been killed in his jail in the last several years, not the sentencing jail, but in pretrial confinement in the same building his office is located in. 52. Amnesty International named the place second most dangerous in America behind Rikers Island in New York. And he can't explain it. We were out, both of us, he showed up late. I was talking to the street people in a place called Tate Street. He shows up, and guess what? He's afraid of the 13, 14, 15-year-old young brothers with Glocks stuck down in the front of his pants. Joe Brown had to go over and talk to him and say, hey, young brother, it ain't gonna happen like that. And I waved a couple of adults over, and, they armed up. It's a constitutional carry, so they have AKs and ARs, and they're keeping peace on their street since the police can't. So we just said, hey, you gotta go. Judge said, man, you heard what the judge said, you gotta go. Drop that hardware off, then you come back here. So sheriff didn't want to say anything to him. He turned his nose up, like I guess he didn't want to create an incident or something, but I didn't. I just got peace. Guaranteed that there was no something going on. And right here, that's what I do. Man training, they need it. Been doing it for more than a half century, famous for it. Man the hell up. It's about the business of protecting womanhood and promoting manhood. Let's take the streets back. We need peace where we live.
Yes, you do. Yeah, we do. And we, as a man, got to, like you said, we need some man training to man up, or you're gonna jack us up.
Hey, man, you don't man your ass up, man. You gonna get jacked up. What's the
Yeah.
matter? Or do you want to get punked out too? Yo.
Right. Okay, I got I got to end the stream, y'all. We're gonna do this again next week.
Sorry for me talking so long. Old men like me, we got lots of time past and very little in the future, so we kind of get anxious to get that history out so you can take advantage of it and get it out.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to put it to good use. I got a lot of stuff coming up in the making that I'm gonna be doing a lot of editing with the shows that I have done with you. And we're gonna do a big project for you and stuff like that.
Send me that thing. I like it.
You like that video? I'm definitely I'm gonna send it to you as soon as I leave here. And I got your back on that. I've been trying to, I feel real proud. I really appreciate you. And my whole family appreciates you for coming up here doing these shows with me. Even a lot of people that is on my channel, you doing the work. You doing mayor type of work. You reaching back out. Even it's a pleasure to even have the opportunity to have a show with you. That's a blessing. That's a good opportunity. Yeah. I had came from the streets, when I first got in these spaces. And I wasn't too much accepted at first.
Makes you tough. If you get the right mindset, you can handle streets, man. You bad. That's what we need. You got to combine all these elements, not just, oh my God, let Pastor Chablis.
You're right. You got to have a balance. You got to have a little bit of that suit, but learn when to take off your suit and learn when to put it on.
And quit trying to audition for a part in the cotillion with the Atlanta Housewives.
That's a fact. I'm gonna set you back in the back. I'm gonna read these super chats, then we're gonna close up. And
let me get off because I gotta go make a run real quick before something closes up. So it's been my pleasure, young brother. Keep up the good work. And I'm out of here. Hi, bye, and gotta go. This has been Judge Joe. Call me when you can, because I'm the one that ran. See if you can get me, because I'm here for you, but you got to call and get through. All right. I'm
shocked that you don't got a lot of kids. You got a lot of swag, Mr. Judge Brown. The honorable judge, he got a lot of swag. I'm surprised he don't got a lot of kids. So this was another good show with the Honorable Judge O'Brown. I feel honored to even have the access that I do with the Judge O'Brown. And I really appreciate y'all for coming. I don't even want to, how can I put this? I know I'm the type of dude that beat myself all the time, but it's still like, certain people got to give that certain respect. I don't really want to get too hammy, for the front of the judge. I don't want them to see me like that, sometimes you got to know when to calm down. And a lot of times it be judge, it be him. He like to just talk his stuff. I let him just talk his stuff. And basically like give up all that knowledge and stuff. So I really appreciate talking with Judge O'Brown, and especially he just like to spit his knowledge and stuff. So I like to just look, listen, and learn. Gore, $20. Salute to the Black House. Great to see Judge O'Brown on the channel with the black flags. Shout out to Gore. Thank you, my guy. Jazzy, great show. Thank you, Jazzy, for the $5 super chat. We gotta get up out of here. Hate that I only get 2 hours. Kyla said that was an awesome show. That was awesome, Jay. Yeah, I'm shocked that he liked the video. That was a blessing. Because I seen him smiling in the back when the video was playing. He was shocked. He was shocked. Yep. So shout out to y'all. Thanks for coming. We gone. From the courtroom to the grill, Judge O'Brown JJB barbecue sauce. Man, the last time me and my girl was barbecuing and we got us a bottle of that JJB barbecue sauce, I lick my fingers and I dare her to lick hers. Judge Joe Brown ought to be ashamed of himself for bringing all this smoke to the barbecue. I'm Jay Prince for president, and I approve this message. We gonna finish that?
Don't be fucking